Hey guys, CJ here with MCLE Conventional Fitness. Today, or this week's guest is Cory Lee out of Manatee, Mississippi. And we're excited to have Cory here. He is PTA, a gym owner, a leadership coach, a life coach, and just all around good dude and a great father. Got to know him over the past few years and really excited to let him tell his story. So Cory, I think, if you don't mind, just kind of starting us off a little bit about who you are and your past and just your connection to fitness.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me on, CJ. I really, before we got going, I told you I considered it an honor that you invited me on. So I love talking about health and fitness and leadership. So right up my alley. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. So I am a physical therapist assistant, I guess by trade. That's what I went to school for. And about 7 years ago, my wife and I, she's a physical therapist, we opened up our first PT clinic. And when we did that, like you said, we're here in Manatee, Mississippi. And Mississippi is one of the most obese states in the country. And I can't stand that fact, right? We wanted to do something about that. Yeah, we wanted to change that. So
where are you guys ranked? I remember you telling me this. I can't remember. What ranking were you guys? Do you remember?
We were number one most obese.
Oh, okay. So
when we started, we were number one most obese state. And we're now number 3, so we're chipping away, right? We're chipping away. But we opened up that PT clinic, and the goal was not only to do physical therapy, but we really wanted to make a difference and impact the community itself. We wanted to change the culture of inactivity to activity, and we started doing boot camp classes. We started doing running classes, CrossFit classes, and it just kind of went from there, and opened up a 24-hour gym, a CrossFit gym, and then a second location as well. So, and like I said, since then, Mississippi's now the number 3 most obese state. And last year, the town we were in, the town has 1,100 people in it, but and 1,100, not very many, but it was
a small community, tight knit.
That's right. That's right. But they were awarded last year the Blue Cross Blue Shield Award for the healthy hometown for one of the healthiest small towns in the state of Mississippi. So that was kind of cool to be a part of that. So
you kind of led that charge, it sounds like, in getting Mississippi going there in your hometown. What about fitness, has drawn you to it and, kind of made that your mission to help take Mississippi and your hometown from being number 1 obese and kind of moving it down that charts?
Yeah, well, for the town to get there, that was way more than what we did. We were a small part of that, but it was cool to be a part of that. What really got me into health and fitness, I played sports in high school, played baseball and football, but in high school, I really lacked a lot of self-confidence. I lacked that. I decided to go to school to be a physical therapist assistant because I didn't think I was smart enough to be a real PT, or I had an invitation to walk on and play college baseball, but I didn't think I was smart enough or good enough to play. So I didn't go. But one day I had a school teacher. She challenged me to do something that I've never done before, and that was run a 5K. And, in high school baseball and football, you run for punishment. You don't just go do it, right? But I ran that 5K and I finished it. And this thought came across my mind that I just ran 3 miles without stopping. I wonder what else I can do. And that 3 turned into 6, and 6 turned into 13. And eventually I ran a 31-mile race on the beach in the sand in Destin. And I won the thing overall, first place. And this other thought came to my mind was that I just ran further than I thought it was even possible. I thought 26 and you die after that, right? But I ran further than I ever thought was possible. And I said, I just did that further than I ever thought I could go. I wonder what other areas of my life may I be holding back in. Okay. And I started thinking too, I can't be the only one like that. There are other people that can do more and be more and achieve more if they just don't allow that fear and that self-doubt to keep them from taking action. And I found that passion for health and fitness kind of in a roundabout way that way, and helping people achieve their goals through a fitness route is what I really like doing. So, yeah.
So it sounds like you found kind of a connection between the fitness and the body and the mind, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You hit it right on. Very similar story for myself with sports and the lack of confidence. And to be honest, it's still something I struggle with. I think I was telling you before we started here. I've wanted to start this whole thing and was just afraid of, hey, what are people going to say? Or different style of training I do. What are people going to say about that? And it's something that I've recently realized you can't please everybody, but you can really focus on yourself and challenging yourself and making yourself the best. And there's that mind body connection. What do you say to somebody who's looking to get started in fitness? How can they start so they can start to achieve that mind side of it as well, but just getting started in fitness?
Yeah. Just start. Really, just start. And I talk to people all the time, and they say, "Well, I want to." We all have different goals, but the easiest one that most people, when they're starting, is I want to lose weight, or I just want to get fit, right? I want to get healthy. I want to start to live a healthy lifestyle. And they'll say, "Well, I hate to run." Well, that's okay. Don't run. Well, I hate going to the gym. That's okay. Don't go to the gym. Well, what do you like? Well, I like to play badminton. Grab your racket and grab the birdie and play for 30 minutes every day, right? Just find what you like and start there, because if you're really going to stick with it, you have to like it and have to enjoy it. And it's really just about moving. So to me, find something you like and start. Just start from there. And kind of you now do clubs and maces, and that's something that you've added on as you've been going. You've tried it, and now you kind of like it, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's the same thing. Anyone else starting, start with what you like, and then you'll be opened up to other fitness ideas or something that you may not have even thought to try, and you give it a shot and you do like that. So just start where you are, start with what you like doing, and take action. Just get going, right?
And you hit it on, is just getting started. I think kind of get what your thoughts are as far as just getting started. So a lot of people may say, and I've had conversations with people here recently even about, I don't know what I like. I really don't like doing anything physical. I don't know what I would even enjoy. What would you tell somebody who told you that?
Well, I would say if it's an adult and they have children, what are your kids like? And kind of get into their lives, right? Do they like to go hiking? Go hike with them. They like sports. Just get outside and play sports with them. But in that, I would just say, just try something. Try going to the pool and swimming laps, see if you like that. That's not it. Get on a bike, go for a ride, see if you like that. But try different things. I think one of the problems that we do is we put fitness in a box. Fitness is, you've got to go to a gym and do 3 sets of 10 or whatever, right? And I think that's having a limited mindset really prevents people from reaching a lot of their long-term fitness goals. Is they put that fitness in a box. This is what fitness has to look like. But it doesn't necessarily have to look like that. It could be just moving around. Just get moving and stay moving. That's kind of my little tagline there. But I would say just try different things. If you say, I don't like running, just try something else. And you'll eventually find what you do like, something that connects with you.
I really like too what you mentioned about doing what your kids like. As a dad myself, and I know you have little ones also. It's a good way to connect.
Yeah.
Me personally, it's a way to make sure that I can stay healthy so I can have a longer life. Or when my daughters are older and, God willing, we can take them on some trips to some beaches and different stuff, that I can go surfing or go rock climbing, do whatever they want to do. It is my motivation. Whereas when I was competing in CrossFit, it was, I want to beat the person next to me. I want to be accepted by the other people to say, wow, he's strong, or he can move faster. He has really good endurance. But now it's, I want to be healthy. I want to move good. I want to feel good. And I want to find that and explore the different movements to find what makes me feel good. And that's where I came into the maces and the clubs, was actually rehabbing a ruptured pec that I had and trying to get back to CrossFit. I quickly realized I'm 32. I have kids. It's not the same as being 27 and being able to spend all your time in the gym. So, you found your fitness and it's helped you mentally. Where do you see kind of your fitness journey going? What are your hopes and goals with the fitness?
My fitness is really what you say is just to live a healthy and active lifestyle. I love trying new things. I just like getting out and being active. And now I'm 33. We're in our prime, right? We're prime time.
Don't let it for you, Cory.
That's right. That's right. But having the kids into their sports. We just got back from soccer practice, and just being able to run around out there and kick with them, and that's fun, right? But my fitness goals is being able to do those kind of things. Exactly what you just said. If we go on a trip, if they want to go surfing, I'm in good enough shape I can do that, right? Right now, main focus is endurance sports. I've kind of gotten back into that. We've got a couple of marathons coming up that I'm looking forward to. Finished up a half Ironman. Big goal would be a full Ironman at some point. So
good luck with that. That's
yeah,
an awesome goal to go after. And so, I think that kind of leads into it, right? You have your goals there. And I think that's something that a lot of people kind of miss. What advice would you give to somebody who is setting a goal in the fitness as they're entering into it?
Yeah, well, that just helps you stay on course, right? I read a book by Maxwell Maltz, and he says we are goal-seeking mechanisms, right? that if we don't have a goal to be aiming for in any area of our lives, we're just kind of drifting. We're floating. You're just going to the gym really for no real purpose, right? You may be doing your 3 sets of 10 or whatever that I just said, or you may be doing your Metcon, and you're just really going through the motions. But if you have a real goal or a specific purpose behind that, it really drives your behavior of what you're doing while you're there in the gym or running or anything that you're doing. So I'm working towards this marathon, right? And my goal really is just to finish for this. I don't really have a specific time. I want to enjoy this, but with that said, I need to build up to be able to do the distance cover, right? So I need a plan to go by, and that plan kind of guides me of what I'll be doing each day as I go run. But really having a goal is going to help you focus on what you need to do while you're in the gym and having a purpose while you're there instead of just floating. So, yeah.
And I think, having the goal, like you said, it keeps you on track. It keeps you going day to day and gives you that plan. It also is the lessons, I guess you could say, you learn as you're working towards that goal, right? A lot of people liken, what is happiness? And I was talking to somebody about that. And it was, it's not necessarily that end goal. You can't really travel to happiness. You can't buy it. You can't own it. You can't wear it. You can't drive it, right? It's that learning and continuing to grow and increasing that personal development and being a part of something greater than yourself. And I see that's, kind of what you're saying with the goal is the bigger picture and continuing to develop yourself physically. And I've seen you really start to grow as a leadership coach and a mentor here recently. How do you, take fitness and coaching in business and mentoring people? What are some of those similarities, and how have you seen the transition from fitness into that life coaching for yourself?
Yeah, well, really, there's a lot of similarities because at the end of the day, if I'm coaching somebody in the gym or if I'm coaching a business executive, at the end of the day, it's a you and you deal. It's that person. It's their life, right? They have to be disciplined enough to do the tasks that they say that they're going to do, right? They come to us for their health and fitness, but they can't hit the snooze button at 5 a.m. if that's what they said they were going to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of similarities between, and the main ones though are the persistent, the consistent, and the discipline, right? And discipline is saying, you say you're going to do one thing and it's doing that thing you said you were going to do. If you said, I've only got time to work out at 5 a.m., it's setting the alarm clock and getting up. You said you're going to get up. It's getting up and doing it. If you said, my goal is to develop my team, and by doing that, I need to spend an hour with them, once a week. Well, it's saying that and then following up with that, having the discipline to actually do that. So it really comes back to a self-leadership type mentality, a you and you deal in the gym and at work. Are that's probably the biggest similarity that I found with working with clients and in the business setting. So, yeah.
Do you often find, I can imagine you probably see a lot of people have that mindset, or that, kind of, I'm going to do this. This is when I have it scheduled. I can do it. I want to do it. And then they struggle to do it. What, I guess the question really is, what are some of the initial challenges that you've seen, whether it's leadership coaching or even in the gym, when somebody has that, I'm going for it, and they start to fall off? Where do they go wrong? What can they do to kind of avoid from falling off?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think one of the biggest things is, you say that's the direction you want to go, but is that the direction you want to go?
Okay.
Like, is that somebody else's goal, or did you really come up with that? Like, do you want to really achieve that, or you think that's what somebody else wants you to achieve, right? It needs to be your goal. And then the second part of that, I kind of lost my train of thought there. I got going right there.
I'm going 1,000 different miles.
Well, I could have started preaching. I said, I better stop. I better rein it back.
That's why I got you on here. I want you to preach it.
I decided I better rein it back.
Let's dive into that, though, because, I mean, I sit here and we talked about some other stuff before, and even in the beginning, for a while I always tried to live somebody else's goal, try to prove to other people I'm what they thought I was versus going after what I want to be. So often it seems like people just are chasing what they feel other people want them to do, whether it's in a career, in even relationships, fitness journey, whatever it may be. It's really just figuring out what you want. And I think, to me, you're going to have people who are always going to hate on what you're doing and talk, especially at this day and age with social media. You're always going to have people posting negative comments, and it hurts. Like, it sucks. But it's to just, go for what you want. And I found it very easy, or becoming easier, by surrounding myself with people who are chasing their version of themselves. Maybe not chasing the same type of thing, but supporting each other. And it sounds like you guys are really developing a large part or community down there in Mississippi, with the gyms that you guys have, the clinics, the leadership, all that. How important do you see community being in being able to chase kind of your goal?
Oh, yeah. Community is really huge, because, as you just said, the majority of people, the large majority of people, the big A word, the big average, right? They're just floating through life. They're in their little boat in their canoe, and they're just floating along through life, or just floating down the stream. And we know that stream only goes one direction, and at the end of it, there's this big waterfall, right? They think they're floating and everything's good. You want to be in the boat that's paddling upstream, right? That's working really hard. But it's tough, because so many, and the majority, are going in the opposite direction. And those going in the opposite direction are a lot of times the one making fun. They're making fun of those people working hard going in the other direction. And surrounding yourself with like-minded people really keeps you always hear the saying, stay close to the fire, right? Well, it kind of helps you whenever the majority of people outside of that community don't really understand it, or maybe are talking smack to you. It just kind of helps you with that. It makes you stronger with that. And that community is a huge part of really anything, but especially in the gym, when most people don't really care anything about that. So,
Why? I mean, it's just like blows my mind when you say that, right? Like, we all know that we're all headed, if we're just floating along to that waterfall. Why do we do that? I mean, I can't figure that out.
It's easy, right? It's easy. It's convenient. We just kind of get into that rat race and that trap of life happens, right? So I told this story, and you've probably heard it, but apparently you can take a frog, right? And you can put the frog in boiling water, and it'll jump right out, right? Smart frog. But if you take that same frog and you put it in water, just lukewarm water, and you gradually turn it up to where the same temperature is reached, the frog will stay there. It's gotten used to its surroundings, and it'll boil itself to death, right? It's the same thing with us. We just kind of get used to the routine over and over and over, and just don't even realize where we're at. And I think that's what happens to the majority of people who just get caught up in their own life and never really take that time to get back and really assess the situation, I think. So just my thoughts.
No, I've heard you tell that story. We actually, I think, talked about it on your podcast when I was on there. And it's so true. And you look at it, it's that slow death that we all live. It's eating the same garbage foods every day, not being active, driving in the car, sitting at our desk, coming home, sitting on the couch, and never moving. When you think about what the human body is really designed to do, it was designed to travel across country, hunt, gather food, climb, all that stuff. And we're not doing that. And we're sitting in that warm water as it's slowly heating up and, taking off years of our lives. So, how can somebody who's starting, right? We talked about it, get going, all that. How can they avoid that boiling water? Like, is it jump right out? Is it, what can they start to do easy to get that chain reaction going and get out of that water?
Yeah, I really, really think first you just got to get started, right? Get moving. But I think it's also important to surround yourself with a community like we've talked about. I was talking to a lady the other day, and you'll find it from the people that love you the most, right? They're trying to pull you back in because that's the comfort zone. That's where they want to be too, and they see you changing, and they think they're helping you by helping you stay where you're at. But getting into a community of other like-minded people and really just getting started. Just get started moving in some direction somewhere is the key, I think, to anybody starting out like that.
And when you say just get moving, just get started, right? I think people think they have to go to a gym to get moving. And often people are very intimidated to go to a gym. What things could they do, at home? I know you guys, when I say you guys, physical therapists, physical therapy assistants, all that, are giving people stuff to do at home. So I'm sure there's things that people can do at home to get started, just so they feel better about themselves before going to a gym. What would you say somebody could do at home to get going?
Yeah. Two things on that. First off, I want to challenge anybody that may be like that. I know there's tons of people like that, but I want to challenge you on that. Are you going to allow someone else's opinion hold you back from reaching the goals that you've set for yourself, right? Not going to the gym because I'm not fit enough or someone may talk about me, right? Don't allow someone else's opinion hold you back from getting to where you want to be. That's one thing. But if you want to start at home, completely fine. There's tons of DVDs out there. There's tons of videos out there that'll help you. You can watch some YouTube videos. You can do millions of exercises with body weight. And you drop down and do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, walk around the house. And that's one of the things my stepdad used to do when he started to losing some weight. He would eat supper and then take 30 minutes. He'd just walk around the house. 30 minutes. That's what he did. So if you don't want to go to the gym, completely understand. But if the reason you're not going to the gym is because you're afraid of what other people will say, don't allow that to hold you back. But there are millions of things you can do at home. Body weight, don't even have to have equipment if you don't want to. Don't even have to buy the DVD set if you don't want to. But your body can do tons of things. So I could probably come up with 100 right now, so but I won't bore you.
So you're telling me you don't have to go to a gym to get started. You can get started at home in the privacy, right? So,
oh, yeah.
Obviously the key there is, like we had talked about already, is that community. Right, so that's the big thing they're missing out on, is that community. If they're not a part of that, how can they find a community for themselves? What should they be looking for when they're looking for a community in their journey?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because like we were saying, staying close to the fire is key. Just finding like-minded people. People that are going to come alongside of you to encourage you. So whenever you're having a rough time, a rough day, they're going to encourage you. But also people who are going to challenge you, right? Those are real friends. When, hey, you said you were going to be at the gym this afternoon at 4:30. You weren't here. Where you at? You all right? People are going to challenge you to get outside of that. And if you if you're starting from zero, have no idea, don't have any friends that you know of that are in a gym like that, then go test them out. I know several gyms around allow one free trial, or a lot of our kind of gyms allow like a free week. Just go try them out, and see what fits best for you. You'll be able to feel the vibe in there. And if they come up, if people come up to you and introduce themselves to you and they seem friendly, that's probably a place that you at least want to give a shot for a couple of weeks or a month or so. But community is so key. It really is. It really is. So, yeah.
So we got get started.
Get started.
Find a community that's going to challenge you, not just tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Right? Hold you accountable. Anything else in that journey?
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Keep a long-term mindset. Right. I see so many people, they think day to day or week to week. You need to be thinking month to month and year to year. This is more of a long-term commitment. It's a long-term commitment in your mind, right? It's thinking for the long term and the lifestyle. Not, I'm going to try this. I'm going to give it a shot, right? It's pulling your boat up to the shore and then burning the boat, right? Some of you may know that analogy, but there's no way back, right? So we're not saying that you're committing to this one gym or this one style, but you're committing yourself to an active and healthy lifestyle. So long-term mindset, it would be the next big key, I think.
Okay. So I think when you're in that journey, right, we often find people fail, right? And we see it, especially at the New Year's time, which is really scary to say, but it's not that far away right now as we're getting into September. So, people are going to go into the gym, they get going for a month, they're around a community of people, and then they hit that pickup. How can they get back in that saddle, or even more importantly, avoid that pickup?
Well, I think it's being crystal clear on your reason why you wanted to do that, your purpose for doing that. Again, going back to the community, having someone that'll help you, hold you accountable. But I think you've got to get crystal clear on your reason why you're wanting to do that. And again, it has to be your reason. Not what you've read on the internet, not what someone else has told you, not what you think your spouse or your friend wants you to do. It has to be your reason, because life happens to every one of us. Junk's going to happen, right? We're going to get sidetracked. We're going to be, say I'm going to go work out or run 5 times this week. Something's going to happen. You're only going to get to go once, or maybe you don't get to go any. Are you going to allow that to derail you for the entire journey, or are you going to get right back in? And when you have that strong enough reason why you're doing it, it makes it much more easier to get right back in there. So
awesome. Well, and I know we've hit on that a few times. I just kind of wanted to tie it in, because I think that's the next step in a lot of people's journey, is they get all that going and fall. And once they get back in that saddle, I've seen a lot of people stick around long-term success, because to your point, they really become clear on their reason for themselves personally. And those are the people that become successful long-term. And you see whether it's a transformation physically, but more so transformation mentally. And they become that person who came in with that mindset of, I can't do this, I can't do that, to shoot, I can really do anything if I really try and put the time in. Nothing easy comes quick. And I know you've been putting a lot of time in with the schooling for PTA, working the practice. You guys had recently, within the last year, sold the practice, right?
That's right. Yeah, January of last year. That's correct.
I knew it was coming up on that year mark here, not too far away.
Yeah.
So, being successful in the gym, being successful in life, what advice, number one, to be able to be happy with life and chasing that, what advice would you give somebody?
Ooh, that's a good question,
I wanted to come off the cuff on this one for you.
Yeah, that's I think you got to be happy with where you're at. I mean, you can't. what I try to think about, like this morning, my truck wouldn't start and all of that. And, just a rough morning, but at the end of the day, you look around and you have to have things that I think it starts with gratitude, really. First, being grateful. And look around and, I was so frustrated with that. But then I had so many things to be thankful for, right? I had a friend who would come and jump me off, right, where I could go and do that.
Yes.
I think it starts with being grateful, and being thankful for what you do have, what you can do. I think that's first step right there, number one, to being happy, I guess. And we all have something, at least one thing, to be grateful for and to be thankful for. And if you can think of that one thing, your mind will think about three more, right? And just be thankful for that. So I think that's the beginning. I could go real preach on you with that. We'll start with that baby seed right there.
I mean, that's awesome. And, when you said the car wouldn't start, think about how many people don't have a car to even worry about starting or doing a job to worry about going to. So, there's always that perception, right? How do you perceive your life? And that's your reality you live in. If your viewing is all negative, you're probably gonna have a pretty negative life. But if you're being grateful and pursuing it as being a good life, I think it's a good opportunity. So Cory, I know I kind of wanted to also give you the opportunity. You're doing a lot of different things, not just in fitness. Where can people find you at? When they're listening to this, really inspired. Cory's got a lot of good knowledge bombs. Where can they find more of Cory Lee at?
Well, most of my stuff is on Facebook or LinkedIn. My name is Cory Lee, Coryle. And then email, I do a lot of email stuff too. That email is Cory, Cory, at CoryLeeLeadership.com. So most of my stuff is on social media and then to some of my email I send out. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have one rapid fire question. You had no
Okay.
idea. I'm stealing this from you. I want to know, when is it okay to quit?
When is it okay to quit? I think sometimes quitting is part of the journey. As long as quitting I guess it depends. Quitting, in my term, is just stopping to move on to the next level, right? Now, that's the way I think. I don't believe in quitting and just stopping and laying down. The way I think of quitting, and I'm going to rephrase it, is not quitting, but it's moving on to the next level. You may stop one thing, and that phase of life has moved on. It has passed. Kind of like we sold the clinic. Something I really enjoyed and loved. I don't feel like I quit the clinic, but it was a stepping stone to something larger that I was going to, right? I think that if we're talking about quitting is okay, is when you're moving on to something bigger or better. But I don't think it's ever okay to just stop and lay down and do nothing.
Awesome answer, Cory. I love it. So I appreciate you hopping on today. I think you dropped a lot of knowledge bombs for everybody. Look forward to hopefully doing this live with you one day, where I can get myself down to Mississippi there.
Yeah.
Up to Cleveland here. Or somewhere else. But I really appreciate it. It's been an honor getting to know you, and look forward to many more conversations.
Yeah. Well, CJ, man, I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a great night, and God bless.
Awesome. Thank you, Cory.
Thanks, man.